All right, let's be on the record in case number 2019-CR936, captioned State of Kansas versus Kenneth Jackson. Would the parties announce their appearances, please?
May it please the court, the state appears by Assistant District Attorney Claire Thibodeau.
May it please the court, the defendant appears by Zoom and by counsel Philip Sedgwick.
All right. As Mr. Sedgwick mentioned, Mr. Jackson, we are appearing by video conference. Now, we've gotten to the point in the pandemic that if we need to, we can get to court together. But for everyone's safety, we try and do that as limited times as possible. My understanding is you talked to Mr. Sedgwick and you're okay waiving your personal appearance in court and proceeding by this Zoom conference. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Mr. Jackson?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, great. Okay, we are here for a sentencing. The record should reflect that back on May 22nd, the parties appeared also by Zoom. At that time, the defendant changed his plea from one of not guilty to guilty. The court inquired and accepted that, ordered a pre-sentence investigation, and set it for sentencing today. I've received a copy of that pre-sentence investigation. The critical findings are as follows. The sole count of conviction is one of possession of cocaine, a severity level 5 drug felony. The defendant's criminal history score was found to be that of C. That would normally leave him in a border box. However, there is a special rule number 9, which is the crime committed while on probation, which destroys that presumption. So he is actually does not have a presumption under the sentencing guidelines. If he has to do his time, he'll be, the presumed range is 28, 30, 32 months. He would be eligible to up to 20% good time credit and subject to a post-release supervision duration of 12 months. If he's granted probation today, it would be for a period of 12 months to community corrections. Ms. Thibodeau, with the correction to that presumption, do you have any additions, corrections, or challenges to the finding of the pre-sentence investigation?
No, Your Honor, I have reviewed it, and besides the presumption, I have no changes.
Mr. Sedgwick, I'd ask you that same question.
I would agree with, we reviewed the criminal history with my client. We agree that it's accurate.
All right. Mr. Jackson, your lawyers tell me that he went over the pre-sentence investigation, particularly that criminal history worksheet that talks about all of your prior convictions, and that you agree that it's accurate. You don't have any challenges to it. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. I will adopt the findings of the pre-sentence investigation for purposes of hearing today. Comments upon sentencing, Ms. Thibodeau?
Your Honor, I would just ask that you follow the plea agreement, which was to run the two cases consecutively. I would ask for the standard number and probation in the 2019 case. And I would ask that you order all of the jail credit to be counted in the probation violation case.
Thank you for mentioning that. Did we resolve the probation violation yet, or were we if I remember correctly, I took a stipulation, we set it for disposition for today to go along with the sentencing. Do I have that right, Ms. Thibodeau?
Yes, Your Honor. My notes reflect that you extended his probation for 12 months,
Okay.
and he already stipulated to the revo.
Okay, that should take care of that. Okay. Mr. Sedgwick, comments upon sentencing.
Your Honor, my client has been on probation for some time. He has been submitting UAs. It's my understanding they are negative. There were some problems because he was quarantined for a period of time. He is scheduled now to get an evaluation. I would simply ask that there are treatment programs that are available. I'd ask that the court make that finding that there are treatment programs. He's going to get his evaluation on Thursday, and certainly ask that complying with those recommendations would be the order of the court. As I say, he's been on probation, has been submitting negative UAs.
All right. Mr. Jackson, now is your opportunity to tell me anything you want me to know in mitigation of your sentence today.
Cooperated with my probation officer in Kansas, and they was trying to since all this coronavirus stuff really been having a lot of stuff messed up, and they've been trying to help me find places like to do my drug evaluation in Missouri because that's where I live at, and they were trying to get like basically switch everything, like I get interstate compact to Missouri. So I've been cooperating with them, doing whatever I can to at least stay out of trouble. I'm currently working at Tyson's. I just got a job. It took me a while to get my evaluation because it costed $150. And at the time of me getting out, I didn't have like $150 right then and there. Then since I started working, I do have it. And like I just got off quarantine, like I want to say Tuesday from my job with like a mandatory quarantine. But I've been trying my best to stay out of the way, work my job, trying to get back in school. That's all. Like,
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Jackson. Mr. Sedgwick, do your client know any legal reason why he should not now proceed to sentencing?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Well, I'm going to follow the plea agreement. And even though the presumption's destroyed because he was on probation, I do find that he meets the criteria of the border box. I think there is a treatment program available that's appropriate for the defendant, that it would serve defendant reformation better than a prison sanction. So I am going to grant him the probation that he would be eligible for under the border box if in fact there wasn't that special rule number 9. So he'll be sentenced to a period of 30 months in the Department of Corrections. If he has to do that time, he'll be eligible to up to 20% good time credit and subject to post-release supervision duration of 12 months. His application for probation is considered and it is granted to community corrections for a period of 12 months. The specific terms of that plea agreement is that within 30 days of today's date, Mr. Jackson needs to get his drug and alcohol evaluation, and he needs to follow the recommendations thereof. This sentence is ordered to run consecutively to his 2018 case. In that case, he's granted all the jail time credit that he's spent in jail in either or both of these cases. That will go to 19CR932, so he won't be getting any jail credit in this case. And this case is ordered to run consecutive by operation of law to that case. All right, Mr. Jackson, here is the deal. I'm so glad you're working now and that you really have good motivation to do the things you need to do. Here's how it kind of a domino effect, okay? If you catch another case, you're going to end up doing that time on 18 and doing the time on 19, and probably whatever your new case is. All right. So that's a lot of time. Now, I'll tell you this. If you don't address a drug issue, then the chances of you catching a case are extremely high. Okay. So getting that evaluation so that you can get set up in treatment that works for you to keep you from needing to use, which will lead you to catching a case, which will send you to prison. You see how that all works in a stair step. So you need to get that eval and you need to start working your drug treatment program so that you can stay out. Okay. And I'm proud of you. You're working. I know, Tyson, it's hard work. These days it's dangerous work with the virus floating around and everything, but they pay well. So I'm really proud of you. I think you got a good thing going on, but if you don't get a handle on your drug issue, you're not going to be able to maintain. Okay.
sir.
I hate the fact that we're still treating drug issues as a criminal justice issue. It shouldn't be, but that's above my pay grade, right? I have to do it as it is. So it's really important to me that you get that eval and you get into the right treatment so that you don't have to go through this anymore. Okay. All right. Well, it sounds like defendant is gainfully employed at this time. And it's with Tyson Chicken. So it's Mr. Jackson, tell me this. What's your living arrangement? Do you rent an apartment? Do you rent a house? Do you own a house?
Staying with my mom. I'm staying with my mom a bit till
Okay.
like December, so I can save up money. She just don't want to just put me out. Like, just I'm 23. I feel like I need my own apartment. So I come next year. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Mr. Jackson, you're cutting in and out.
Yeah, you were breaking in and out. What I understood is that you are living with your mom right now, saving up some money to get your own apartment. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Are you responsible for, do you have any kids that you have to pay child support for, or people that you support, anything like that? You're breaking up again. Try that again.
Yes, I have a son.
How much you pay in child support for him?
I'm not on child support.
Oh, okay. All
He
right.
actually started going to school from over here with me and my mother when school start back up.
Okay. All right. Fantastic. All right. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to assess the court costs, the supervision fee versus the defendant. Mr. Sedgwick, do you know what your attorney fees are going to be?
$70.
I'm assuming that was not $70. You were breaking up to, how much was that again?
$770.
Okay. I'm going to assess $200 of that versus the defendant. And he also has, he doesn't need to pay the KBI database fee as he's already on the database. Ms. Kebido, do you know the drugs weren't tested in this case, were they?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, so there's no fee there. I'm not going to fine the defendant anything, so those will be all the costs and fees. Mr. Jackson, what I like to do is try and figure out if a defendant's able to pay this stuff, what a monthly payment that would get him to the end by the end of his probation so that it doesn't have to get extended for payment. You have roughly here, I'm going to call it roughly $550. That's a little bit more than it actually is. So if you were to pay $100 a month, you would have it paid off easily before the end of your probation. Is that a payment that you believe that you could make?
Yes, sir. But I'm starting to get a car payment. I was just doing the math in my head. I can do like 75. It don't matter.
Sorry,
Whatever.
I heard you say 75 and then you cut out for a minute.
70. I can pay at least 75 a month. I know, cause I'm trying to get like my car arrangement situated, like the
Okay.
tag.
That'll work too, because if you pay $75 a month throughout this case, you'll have all of it paid off before your probation ends. Okay, so I think that's a good idea. The court's order will be $75 a month. All right, Mr. Jackson, you have 14 days from today to appeal anything you don't like about your sentence. As a convicted felon, it's prohibited for you to own or possess a firearm, certain kind of deadly cutting instruments like dirks, daggers, switchblades, basically knives that could be considered weapons. And obviously I would think that at the Tyson Chicken place, you're going to be using a knife. Those would not qualify as weapons. Something that, like I said, is a weapon, like a dirk, a dagger, a switchblade, things like that. If you have any questions about that, talk to Mr. Sedgwick about what you can do. But before you decide to own or possess any kind of weapons like that, make sure you talk to a good lawyer like Mr. Sedgwick to make sure that it wouldn't be a basis for new charges or reason to revoke your probation, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. Ms. Kebido, I'll ask you, anything I failed to cover today?
No, Your Honor. My only question was, is the 12-month extension on his probation, would that be from the plea date or today's date?
Well, he's going to be on paper on on this anyway. let's make the extension of probation 12 months from today so that they're with each other. Mr. Sedgwick, any objection to that?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Sedgwick, anything you can think of that I failed to cover today?
No, Your Honor.
All right. So in the old case, 18962, the defendant is stipulated to the violations. He is given jail time credit for the time that he served in that case, and in this case, all of that jail time credit will be in the 2018 case. His probation will be extended 12 months from today in that case, and then the sentencing as we've done on the record today. Anything else for our record, ladies and gentlemen?
No,
Ms.
Your Honor.
Ariel?
No, Your Honor.
We can't hear you, Megan. It doesn't say that you're muted, but we can't hear you. No. If you have a question, Miss Ariola, you can type it in chat and I will see it. Everybody will see it and we can answer it. Oh, thank you. Yes, Miss Ariola asked if I told him to report to community corrections. Mr. Jackson, here's what I need you to do today. Do you have a pen and paper to take this down?
I'll put it on my phone right now.
Okay. I want you to call this number. 913-573-4180. Did you catch that?
Yes, sir.
All right. That's the number for community corrections with whom you are on probation in this case. Call them, tell them that we just did this and that your paperwork is on the way over. They will set a time for you to come and get taken in for probation. I'm sure it'll be with the same officer who's in charge of your case now. And they'll start working on getting it compacted over to Missouri if that's what you want, okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I need you to do that as soon as we hang up here today, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. Anything else for our record today?
I'll prepare the journal entries electronically, Your Honor.
Thank you. Good luck to you, Mr. Jackson.
Yes, sir. And thank you.
Thank you. We are adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hill.